glasses. They're so cool, right? Anyway, I thought I would wear them for 5 seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Anyway, if you go through your house, by the way, apparently I've read recently that the average household has like 300,000 items, which is ridiculous. So I went through mine. Today is collect toys to give away day, and it feels really good. So, just a little maybe declutter thing because it really helps you to feel better in your life and to share with other people, which is awesome. So I found these funky, I think they were once for a New Year's Eve gathering glasses. And here they are. Anyway, welcome. Okay, I'm gonna turn these things off because they are, wow, really, really, really obnoxious, but fun. And they're not stopping. Okay, well, whatever. Here we go. So, on to the deep spiritual dive for today. And now my hair is crazy. Doesn't matter, right? We're here for the information, not my hair. But anyway, welcome back to You Loving Life. I'm Michelle. Today we're going to do a deep spiritual dive. And I'm going to start by looking through Harold Klemp's perpetual calendar and just flipping to any page and seeing what happens. Okay, here we go. This is what I got. Again, you guys know that I do these every day, and they are in the uplifting quotes of the day. And so here we are. The teachings of Eck work on the simple principle that love is the divine current which makes all life possible. We, as soul, ride on this current, first of all, away from God. Okay, so we leave the source of love of all that is. Then, at the farthest point away, at the very end of its rope, soul finds the teachings of Eck and can work on returning home, okay? Returning home to that source of love. And it is a wonderful path. If you've not heard about it, you can check out eckankar.org for more information. I simply read various texts here and do my own personal interpretation. I have said before, I have been in 5 different religions in this lifetime. I remember past lives. And so for me, finally finding Eckankar made it kind of all come together, make much more sense for me. And I know it does for many. So here we are. And we had read the first chapter of Stranger by the River. And we started with the river. Now we're on to the second, and it's called The Seeker. So you can place yourself in this person's, place. You're the seeker, right? We're all seeking answers and love, which is really the search for God, if you think about it. So he was the seeker. He was like any other man, and it could have been you. Outwardly, his life was little different from that of other people, working, toiling, laboring, yet his struggle to find life was deeper and more acute. The pain was greater, the suffering unbearable, and his sensitivity more intense. Nothing could lift him spiritually, and the responsibility or success which other men had would not touch him. He was the outcast, the lonely, and the dejected, for love had passed him by as there was nothing in his life which love had to anchor upon. Yet he was always the seeker of something that lay continually beyond his reach. Eagerly he sought that mystical something in the heart of a rose, the face of a child, or the tenderness of a woman. He could not find the love that his life was spent in seeking. His search had carried him across the world and back again to the river, where he sat on the bank wondering if the answer would ever be found, until that day when the Tibetan in the maroon robe came and sat beside him. Then he saw the light that came from beyond, that grew in an ever greater, ever widening circle. And he saw the woman, the slender, long-limbed woman with dark eyes who stood at the edge of the light. He knew that whatever it was, deep within him were worlds invisible, and all that he sought was love. That the form was only the instrument through which love seeks its way into the world. Ribazar-Tars rubbed his strong chin and said, "Thou art the seeker, but there are others too, countless millions, walking before thee, behind thee, or beside thee. The answer is God. And God lies within, as Jesus said that day upon the mountainside, the kingdom of God is within you. and you and you and you. The seeker looked at the slow, muddy waters of the river flowing through the heart of the land and wondered. All the world became light, and a strange, humming sound entered into his heart, giving him peace. All wisdom, understanding, love, and knowledge was revealed to him in the gently murmuring water, ever moving toward the sea. Ah, the river, he said softly to the Tibetan. It is like life. I beg you, Master, give me the wisdom and glory of God. The Tibetan opened his mouth and began to speak. Wonderful. That is the second chapter in Paul Twitchell's Stranger by the River. I also did a video of a very old book that was recommended to me by a subscriber in one of these chats below. And I did find it from a friend. It's very obscure and not even in print anymore. And I read from it. So if you want more Paul Twitchell, then you can look under my playlist, Spiritual Law / Exercises of Eck, interpreted by me. And you'll find a Paul Twitchell book, and it's only within the past couple of weeks or so. So I do at least one video a day. So that was Paul Twitchell, Stranger by the River. We are all seeking that love, millions and billions, an infinite amount of us from this planet, other planets, universes, dimensions, supraphysical dimensions, as well as the physical Earth that we live on and other planets that we don't even know about. Well, we know subconsciously, but we don't remember necessarily. Some of us do. And yet, we just have to realize we're all of the same thing. Even though we look different, even though we act differently, we speak different languages, we have different customs, we come from different parts of the world or galaxy or dimensions, we are all created by Creator. And we are all love. We are all little sparks of love, which means that we're all creators too, because we're created of the Creator. So we are children of all of us, which is pretty cool, right? We just kind of have to remember that. Thank you for the hearts. And oh, thank you for the lovely words. Hello, Vinesh. I hope I'm saying that right, Vinesh. Thank you. So here we have next the spiritual exercises of Eck. But before that, I would like to do a quick Hue chant. So if anyone wants to join in. Now, Hue, for anyone who doesn't yet know, is the highest vibrational word utterable, chantable, singable on the planet. Okay, it is of pure love energy. And when you sing it, you attune yourself to what it is. So your soul is pure love, but the physical is not. So let's do 5 hue chants. Okay, 5 hues, I should say. Not chants, but 5 hues, because that will get us to the 5th love and above dimension. So we're in the physical, then there's the astral, causal, where the Akashic records, past lives are stored, the mental, mind, and etheric subconscious. Those are all the lower worlds. Above, the 5th dimension or heaven, and above is the love and above. So let's attune ourselves to that dimension. Wouldn't we want to be more in tune with the higher worlds? So I'm going to close my eyes and sing 5 hues. Then there'll be a brief pause where you might imagine what your inner guide is saying to you. What would your inner guide say to you right now? Whether you believe in the current living Eckmaster, Sri Doug Kunin, the Mahanta, or if you talk to someone else, it could be anyone. So we're going to do 5 hues. I will show you his picture in case you don't know what he looks like. He is the 974th current living Eckmaster, and he can come to anyone. You don't have to be an Eckist, which is not a religion. It's a spiritual path that you can follow. But if you ask for guidance from him, he will come. So there's that. Or you can think of whoever you like to. So here we go, 5 hues. And I will end it by saying, may the blessings be. And someone said that. So thank you. That really helps me too, as I do these, to receive that from you. Thank you. So here we go. And I like to open my heart when I do this. You May the blessings be. So the other point of doing this, Hugh, is to gather us all who are here into that higher vibration. Everyone here has access to that, everyone. So I invite you to comment below and to utilize that gift that you are and to contribute in any way you'd like. I will ask questions here and there. And again, we're all learning together. I'm learning from you as well. It's a very wonderful thing to do these with you guys. Thank you. It's just a joy for me. All right, so we're on number 25 in the book by Harold Klemp, The Spiritual Exercises of Eck. And it says, your doorway to wisdom, freedom, and love. These are spiritual exercises you can do on your own. And I'll just read it to you now. You can always listen to this video again, which, by the way, I would really appreciate if you like and subscribe to this channel. It does help to share this with more people. And the more people who work on themselves, the better the planet will be, right? We'll be happier all together. So, number 25, it says, a way to build self-confidence. If you should have your real strength of character marred by a lack of self-confidence, use this technique to build yourself up again. First, find the spots in your aura or personal atmosphere that are self-conscious, shy, timid, or overly sensitive. So you basically want to see where it is that you're self-conscious. Look at yourself, right? That these tend to attract people who impose upon your weakness. With a mental command, ask those people to move out of your way. Mentally demand respectful attention. So if you're being disrespected and whatever you've done is not working when you verbalize it, you can do this technique alone, okay, yourself. Next, build up the opposite qualities of mind and character to replace these self-conscious qualities. Fill yourself with positive courage so that the positive force you generate can actually be felt when you pass through a room. Adopt the mental attitude and personal atmosphere of a person with great confidence. Always be direct and positive in your approach to all things. Put all your spiritual force behind your smile, your replies, and your thoughts. Okay. It's just a great way to build self-confidence. And, again, it does require some action. Okay. Nothing changes without action. So we might have all the various ideas here, but we have to actually implement them. So if you want to listen to that again and try this one, it is in the healing and protection section of the spiritual exercises of Eck. And you are most welcome. I'm very happy to do these. Thank you for being here. All right, so next we have the spiritual laws of life, one of my favorite. Okay, this again is Harold Klemp. All right, and he wrote this one and has amended it too and added more stuff to it. So here we go. The four zoas. The four zoas or laws of Eckankar for the Mahdi's, the initiates of the fifth circle, are key to their spiritual advancement. So the fifth circle would be the fifth love and above, the initiation into the higher planes. So these are the four zoas or laws for people who have received that initiation. And if you haven't yet received that initiation, it doesn't matter because you can still start employing these if you wish. The Mahdi's, 1. The Mahdi's shall not use alcohol, tobacco or drugs, gamble, or be gluttonous in any way. No Mahdi's shall be existence on the animal level. He is a leader, and he must fix his attention above the psychology of the brute. I'm going to repeat that one, okay? So if you are in the fifth love and above or wish to be, this is something you might wish to employ. The Mahdi's shall not use alcohol, tobacco, or drugs, gamble, or be gluttonous in any way. No Mahdi shall be existent on the animal level. He is a leader and must fix his attention above the psychology of the brute. Wow. Okay. Number 2. The Mahdi's shall not speak with tongue of vanity or deceit or unhappiness, criticize the action of others, blame others for wrongdoings, quarrel, fight, or inflict injury. He shall at all times be respectful and courteous to his fellow man and show great compassion and happiness. It doesn't mean you don't have bad days, right? But let's read that again. The second thing that an initiate of the 5th level and above need to follow are the following. The Mahdi shall not speak with tongue of vanity or deceit or unhappiness, criticize the actions of others, blame others for wrongdoings, quarrel, fight, or inflict injury. He shall at all times be respectful and courteous to his fellow man and show great compassion and happiness. Okay. Number 3, the Mahdi's shall have humility, love, and freedom from all bonds of creeds. He shall be free from the laws of karma, which snare him with boastfulness and vanity. He shall have love for all people and all creatures of the Sugmad, also known as God. I'll read number 3 again. The Mahdi's shall have humility, love, and freedom from all bonds of creeds. He shall be free from the laws of karma, which snare him with boastfulness and vanity. He shall have love for all people and all creatures of the Sugmad, also known as God or love. The fourth thing that once you're an initiate of the 5th level and above, you need to follow, okay? The Mahdi's must preach the message of Ek at all times and prove to the world that he is an example of purity and happiness. He must show that the disciple in the human body must have a master in the human body. I'm going to read that again. The Mahdi's must preach the message of Ek at all times and prove to the world that he is an example of purity and happiness. He must show that the disciple in the human body must have a master in the human body. Okay, so let's look at number 1. No alcohol, tobacco, drugs, gambling, gluttony. Okay, not existing on the animal level. Well, I will say this, that I personally can attest that once I started to up-level my consciousness, I would once in a while have a glass of wine out, maybe I'd say once a week or something like that. I just don't want it. I can't have it. As I up-level in my consciousness, it just feels like if I'd had a glass of wine, it just pulls me down. It makes me feel not as good as I feel now. Okay? So there's that from my own personal experience. But I love that it says no Mahdi's shall be existent on the animal level. Now, if you're not a 5th initiate or above, you don't have to follow this, right? And it takes years to get to that level anyway. But this is something to consider if you want to act as if you are an Ek master in training, okay? The Mahdi shall not speak with vanity, deceit, unhappiness, criticism towards others, blame of others, quarreling, fighting, or inflicting injury. Okay, so some might say, well, yeah, but that person did this, this, and that. Okay, they did. But at least from my interpretation, is like, well, one, you're enmeshing yourself and creating more karma by saying bad stuff about someone, even if it's true. Okay, you're making more karma that's negative. Also, you have no idea what you did to that person 50,000 years ago, So maybe they were paying you back, honestly. Like, the more you can get to that causal plane where the Akashic records are stored and see yourself without rose-colored glasses, you could be like, wow, I was horrible back then. No wonder, right? So there's that. And then 3, the Mahdi shall have humility, love, freedom from all bonds of creeds, free from the laws of karma, which snare him with boastfulness and vanity, loving all people as creatures of the Sugmad. So basically staying in that love vibe, 5th love and above, and not being vain, boastful, like in the beginning of me becoming an Ekis, and I still have this problem sometimes. I get so excited about things that happen, like spiritually, that I want to shout it from the rooftops. Like, I even made a video about my out of body experience. I was like, oh my God, it's real, it's real, it's real, So like that could come off as vain. It's not. I literally am telling people because I want them to know, if they haven't had that experience, that it's really a real thing that happens and can happen to you too. If you're adventurous enough for it and not afraid, because you can't be afraid. It ends the minute you get afraid. But yeah, I think that the Mahdi mindset is to not really share much of that at all, because it does come off as a vain, boastful thing, right? Okay, and then the Mahdi's must preach the message of Ek at all times. Well, that could sound to people like, what are you doing? Like, you going out like a preacher on the street and screaming like, repent, repent? No, no, no. It says, be an example of purity and happiness. If you are working in the fifth love and above, and you're walking around with a dour attitude, or you're gossiping about people, or you're greedy, just trying to get people to buy stuff from you all the time, or whatever it is that you're working on, like anger, vanity, lust, greed, attachment, then it's a reminder that you might want to consider being more of an example of purity and happiness, and also humility, and knowing that you need to be with your inner guide as much as you can be. For me, it's the current living Ekmaster, right? So, if the Chela or student came to the Mahanta, the living Ekmaster, and said that the spiritual contemplation of Ek did not appeal to his temperament, he would be given counsel to frequently associate with those who have gained the stature of the Mahdi's, the initiates of the fifth circle. These are the ones who have had real spiritual experiences. Constant contact with them will assist him to bring out his latent spirituality. The Mahdi's are the higher ones who turn the minds and wills of the Chelas towards divine objects. Above all, they stimulate an intense longing for the spiritual life. Okay, so being in contact with people who are more spiritual, right, is very important. It's very helpful to be around people that are. Okay, so we have now covered our daily quote, and we've done the Hugh chant. We did a spiritual exercise, which leaves us with the next fun thing. I love this so much, you guys, is the Eckopedia. I just think it's fabulous. It's again Harold Klemp. There's a lot of Harold Klemp books I read here. And here it is. It's a lexicon, a dictionary of terms that are Ekist. Okay. So anyone want to throw out a number? I will read from the number you say. I did, however, while you're thinking of it, if you want to, I did actually open to page 81. And it's talking about the Fakiti Monastery. It is a golden wisdom temple, and it is on the Asarati Lok, or desert world, in the Gobi Desert. Okay. Hello, Final Boss. Welcome. So it is one of the 4 supra-physical golden wisdom temples in the physical universe. So supra-physical meaning that it's not reachable in the physical, it's above the physical dimension shift, okay? So we can go to these places in our astral soul or soul body. We can travel, and it definitely happens a lot for everyone, actually, whether you know it or not, once you're asleep. So your soul leaves your body when you're sleeping. Some people can do out of body or soul travel lucidly, and that's incredible too. But if you want to get to these super physical or other realm monasteries, temples to study, then you can do things before you go to sleep. But let's continue reading about the Fakiti. Thank you. Thank you, Final Boss. The temple is gray, rectangular, topped with a broad dome. Wide steps lead to the main portal, which is flanked by high square columns. Banjani, an Ek master, is the guardian of this temple and teaches the introduction to the Shariat Kisugmad, the way of the eternal. It is the book of all books. If you want to know more about Eckankar and how the worlds were formed and how soul was formed and the purpose of soul and the purpose of Ek masters and the various phases of evolution of various places such as Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu, etc., and the different wisdom temples and the different stages towards self-mastery, towards God realization, towards co-workership with God, Read the Shariat Ki Sugmad. I will spell it once for you and then continue reading. It's Shariyat dash Ki, Ki dash Sugmad, Sugmad. And it is a wonderful, wonderful thing to read. I've read it so many times, and every time I read it, it's wild. It's like magic every time I read it. And there's nothing like magical about it. I mean, life is magical, but I'm just saying that every time I read it, I get a new layer out of it because I've evolved and I see something I didn't see before. So it's always a new read. So, Banjani, an Eckmaster, is the guardian of this temple and teaches the introduction to the Shariat Ki Sugmad. Students come here in the dream state to learn their spiritual destiny. Pretty cool. All right, does anyone have a page number they want to throw out? A number, a birth date. I will read from that. There's like 300 and some odd pages in this book. I think it's so cool. If you guys didn't hear this before, I'm going to do this while I'm waiting for page number here. Names of Eckmasters, and this is really important to consider. So if you're, like totally into, let's say, Stoic philosophers, which I totally love them myself, Epictetus, he's so cool, etc. The thing is that like they were Eckmasters of the day. They had the power to help the students in that time. The current living Eckmaster, the 974th, is Sri Doug Kunin, and he's the person who can help you in the inner and help you get through easier. Trust me, that's true. Okay, I've gotten lost a few times, but this is a list of ones that you might know of. Okay, even Jesus was a Chila, a student of Eckmasters. He had the what's it called? Brain block for a second. The mystery schools, right? They were all hidden then, but we're so lucky we can study this like in broad daylight, not hiding, okay? So here's a list of Eckmasters. I'm totally going to butcher the names in advance, but you might know some. Adoni, or Adonai, Agnati, Ahmad Kavani, Apollonius of Tiana, Asoki, Babla Mohenyo, Banjani, Castrog, Chukoyen, Dayaka, Descartes, Epictetus, Fubiquance, Gakko, Gutan, Gopal Das, Habu Medinet, Hari Tita, Harold Klemp, also known as Wazi. He was the 973rd living Eckmaster. Helvidius Priscus, Hippolito Fayal, Ismet Hudoni, Jagat Ho, Janos Moneta, Joyti Bazji, Ju Chao, Kadman, Kai Kuas, Kasapa, Kadadaki, Ketu Jaral, Kita Sorgi, Laitsi, Lamota, Malati, Marpa, Matax, Baraka, Messi Gokaritz, Milarepa, Miksha, Maraji Desal, Nalpa Keljina, Nirguna Akam, Ori Diogo, Padma Gaya, Paul Twitchell, also known as Padar Zask, and I just read from one of his books. It was Stranger by the River. Wow, wonderful, totally wonderful text. So if you're just joining now, I'm reading a list of some of the 974 Eckmasters since the beginning of people being around, okay? Phidias, Prajapati. I love you, Prajapati. Oh my gosh, he's so cool. Priscus, Pythagoras, Quetzalcoatl, Rabinowitz, Rama, Ramamurta, Rami Nuri. He is from a superphysical plane of existence in Retz Venus. Yes, I know this sounds weird. Okay, don't trust me, I know. But again, until you experience certain things, it's going to sound weird, but that's okay. Rebazar Tars. Who doesn't love Rebazar Tars? Regnard, Sardar, Lunpo, Sato, Courage, Sefer. This is like a list of superheroes to me. I'm telling you, they're just like so beyond evolved. Like it's like reading like angels out loud, okay? And thank you for any of them who want to be with me while I do these videos. Renard, Sardar, Lunpo, Sato, Courage, Sefer, Shamui Tabriz. Okay, Shamui Tabriz. He helped me actually write my song, You Are the Ocean. So thank you. I was awoken one night and basically pretty much he dictated the words to me, which was awesome. And it's now on my channel if you guys want to check it out. It's called You Are the Ocean. Shandava, Shiv Sena, Simcha, Socrates, okay, Sudar Singh, Supaku Sutot Singh, Tamakui, Tarika Takom, Teja Hua, Tindor Saki, Termer, Tisot Lens, Tomo Gesheg, Tawart Banagi, Tura Young, Vaita Danu, Vajra Manjushri, Vardrup, Wu Tena, Yabel Sakavi, Yavata, Yontna, Urantka, and Zadok. Whew. And that's not even all of them. There's 974. So your inner guide is your inner guide. Okay. But again, the message is to ask your inner guide and get the right answers, because that is the bird's eye view. And then you can follow them and life becomes so much easier, especially if you choose to chant the word hue. And I'm just going to end this video with another quick hue, like 5, so that when we go out into our day, into the world with people of different levels of consciousness, and they might not all be, fabulous to be around. Just saying, like, hello, there's no one who's going to debate that. Okay. That's just undebatable. So if you want to sing the hue, I'm going to do 5 hues and then close out this. So you can raise your vibe to have a great day. Here we go. May the blessings be. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining me here at Hue Loving Life. Like, subscribe, share with someone you think it'll uplift, because we all need uplifting when we're all in the physical realm right now. And it's like not an easy place, just saying. Earth is gorgeous, but it's a hard, hard, hard school to be in. It really is. So be easier on yourself. Know that you are made of love and you're here just to learn some lessons and go back to the gorgeous realms. And you go there every night anyway when you sleep. If you raise your vibe enough, then you can get there every single night. So your dream life can be fabulous. So you just like sing the hue before you go to bed and ask to go to the higher realms, and you can visit with people who've left their bodies. It's fabulous fun. And it's just a little preview of what it's like when we're no longer in the physical. But we are here, so be easy on yourself, because it's not the easiest place to be, just saying. If anyone has one last page number, I will read it, and then I will say goodbye. Anybody? 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 All right. Lots of love, you guys. Mwah. Kisses. Have a beautiful day. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for being here the whole time. That's so lovely. We just had a satsang together. I can't believe it. It's so lovely. I love that we can do this now in this day and age with technology. Thank you, Vinesh. All right. Lots of love. Ciao for now.